I just faced that CBD tank, ready to ready to help the world. Oh, oh, looks like it looks like this is real interesting energy. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Because it looks like you have like, or what you might have had, like what you felt was an insurmountable amount of grief. But it looks like you're badass surmounted it. You surmounted it. It's done. You're like, damn, that sucked. Anyway, I'm seeing a lot of resilience in your story, and like at this point, it's like you're ready for the next thing, which is awesome because I feel like just off this energy, you were on that bullshit for a long time, bro. Now you looking good. You got that shit on. People like, damn, what's she eating? People trying to find out real personal information about you to like figure out like what your secret is. And I feel like you don't necessarily keep secrets. Like you're not trying to like gatekeep anything from anybody, but you do appreciate like the sanctity of your personal space, especially because when you are dealing with loss, the only thing that can really bring you through it is you. You can have support from other people, but like truly that like secret element is what you can do for yourself here. And I'm getting that with that hermit energy coming up. Seeking solitude to focus on your inner life for personal creativity. Um, and then I had the orphan in reverse. Feelings of abandonment, the stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Um, yeah, there's this energy where you found yourself in solitude, not necessarily because you're a fan of solitude. You were kind of like forced into solitude because you kept trying to make situations work with people who you didn't have no business working with in the first place. And I think that's kind of what made the loss a little bit more intense because it wasn't just that like you lost the people, you also lost everything that you invested in that connection. And I think it taught you a lot of balance, right? Moving into relationships after like those big fallouts where you had like over invested, over committed, maybe experienced enmeshment, you had a much better sense of like how much to give. I feel like coming out of those initial enmeshed, enmeshed situations. I'm sorry, I'm geeking. Um, you like withheld more than I think was healthy. Um, and now you're like trying to see like, oh, I can just, be my happy little self. I think instead of like trying to appeal to people so that you can, stay in their world, you found such a peace and a joy in your world that you are so happy and so unrepentant about expressing that as you move through life. And that's cute. That's cute. I think the only like sticky part of that is when people don't seem to like understand like why you're showing up in that energy. But I think let's see what these cards have to say. Yeah, the cohabitation coming out explicitly about that type of energy with discovery in reverse. So good. In winter, what's up with winter? Icy receptions, yeah. So I think that was the biggest test, right? You've spent all this time in Hermit. You've come up with this identity, the sense of expression, the ways that you like find joy in yourself, and you're sharing it with other people, and they're like, brother, and you're still like showing up as it is. Um, it's something beautiful about that, because then when you face rejection, there's like no regrets. Like because it's like, oh, they just don't like how I get down. Okay, it's either they don't like how you get down or they can't handle it or something like that. But you know in your heart at this stage that that's a them issue, not an issue with you. You've learned that like it's a lot of these things, it's like there's nothing wrong with you, it's just a compatibility problem, right? And so you're able to kind of like maintain the sense of self and the sense of joy and like recover from situations really easily when you're rejected, where in the past you might have experienced like rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And you neurodivergent bitches in the house, hey. Now you can kind of like take on any rejection or perceived rejection and understand that since you were showing up exactly as yourself, it's just that that person just doesn't jive with you. Whereas in the past, when you were like trying to appeal to people, you felt like, oh, I should have done another strategy. I should have done this. If I did that, then they would have this. And you get stuck in these like mind loops. You kind of like find yourself in a sense of peace, knowing that like what I presented is what I am, probably without a filter. Speaking of no filters, I probably shouldn't have hit that tank right before coming on. This is my first time trying it. It's like 30 to 1 CBD to no substance. It's got me all giggly and my tongue's all loose because I put it under my tongue. But boundaries and instincts. I think it also helps you to like establish boundaries that are more in line with like your sense of self, because once you start to like spend a lot of time with yourself, you can tell like when things are disturbing you that are from outside of yourself and what's coming from inside of yourself. You're more able to connect with your internal sense of reason, that allows you to trust your instincts more. And so when you're moving more from this instinctual, emotional, spiritual body, it's like you don't really need to come up with a reason why something made you feel bad. Like you might have had an experience of being like, well, I mean, it made sense that they said that, so something must be wrong with me if I'm not taking it the right way. Whereas now you're like, that just felt weird. I don't want it. And you're fine with that. You don't need to like come up with a bunch of like explanations for why something feels a certain way. I think on the opposite side, it also allows you to just do things because you want to, because it feels good. And in a world where a lot of people are doing things in order to get something out of something else, it's like refreshing and or suspicious to see someone who's just kind of moving out of like a self-centered space of like, this is what I want to do and I'm doing what I can to do it. um, there's an element of, with boundaries, kind of like finding sticky spaces, right? Because when you're moving from a place of like centering yourself, it can be difficult to decide when someone has boundaries that are out of alignment with like your identity. I think in the past, that is when you would start to compromise. But instead of compromising now, we are establishing boundaries. So a boundary isn't just a rule, with a punishment that you give to another person. A boundary is a rule that you make, and it comes with like an explanation of what will happen when that rule is crossed, and that's all within your agency. So it's like if you say something that makes me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you I feel uncomfortable. If I feel uncomfortable too many times, I'm just going to dip. Like, I'm not going to explain myself a bajillion times, you know what happened, type shit. And so when you have those in place, it's kind of like this beautiful way to like have control of your own world without exerting control onto other people. And it also just makes it, when you have these like incompatibilities, it like eases like the pain of separation, because everybody knew what the fuck was up from the jump, right? And it makes you seem like wiser and like more respected. That you're not like having tantrums because people didn't do what you needed to be done in order for you to feel some kind of way. You did what you needed to do in order for you to feel good in some kind of way. And so, in this path of like healing grief and like moving into this version of yourself who is um, more self aware and also more self assured, more willing to like stand up for yourself, it seems like you found like that sweet little formula to like kind of do anything. And that's really badass. But I'm not surprised, because my collective is exclusively bad bitches of all genders. Um, Especially you, since you made it to the end of this video. If you fuck with the energy, I have more of these videos on my YouTube. I do all sorts of content on my TikTok, including live readings where you interact for answers. You can also get personal readings from me if you just click that link that's either below this video or in my bio. It's going to allow you to go ahead and book that reading. You just fill out a short form and I send a video with an in-depth reading. They tend to be between 10 to 20 to a bajillion minutes long, based off of what's required. Feel free to ask multiple questions. And you set your own price from zero to a bajillion million dollars based off of what you feel comfortable sharing. I'm also a Reiki master, so if you need a little bit of Reiki healing, that link's available too. And I got a whole bunch of other socials and services where you can just support me if you feel like it. Um, but yeah, you don't got to do that because you're a self assured bitch. But I appreciate you hanging out and feeling the energy regardless.